what Renaissance artist also had horrifically long toenails that would scrape into someone's legs? Well, it was Giorgio Vasari's birthday, so how could I go along without sharing with you some of the salacious stories to go along with these great artists? You know, Giorgio Vasari was a great painter and an architect, but he's really known more for his wonderful book, The Lives of the Artists. And he was a personal friend of Michelangelo, and he knew others as well. But you know what? When he wrote The Lives of the Artists, probably, let's say, the first art history book, Michelangelo began to think, I don't like what he's saying about me. So he got one of his own former students, Condivi, to write a new biography a few years later. Then, there was something that happened between another artist, Benvenuto Cellini, who was also a writer. Well, apparently Giorgio Vasari was a guest at his house, and he apparently turned up his house in Rome upside down, and Cellini did not appreciate this. And so he wrote some very damaging, disparaging things against him. And he said that Vasari, he called him his little vassaletto, Giorgino Vassaletto, so the little Giorgio Vassal. He said that he had suffered from a type of scabs on his skin that he would constantly scratch. And apparently he had to share a bed with one of Cellini's workers, one of his workers in the house, and beds were few and far between, so they had to share a bed. And when they shared the bed, what happened is that he started scratching himself, but he ended up with his long toenails, Giorgio was not scratching himself, but scratching the legs of this poor worker named Mano, who then promptly wanted to kill him. Another interesting story about Giorgio Vasari was that he was very proud of himself and his work as a painter, and he went to Michelangelo, who had been famous already for painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel through a period of 4 years, and he said, Michelangelo, I just painted this room, La Sala di 100 Giorni. So his room of 100 days. It only took him 100 days to paint. And that Michelangelo was known for his wit and his scathing critiques, looked up at the ceiling and said to him, E si vede, which means, it looks it. To be inspired on where to go and what to see and learn more about these salacious anecdotes, follow me and Through Eternity.